All right, Algebra 2. Welcome back to another amazing chapter in math. Sweet. All right, we're starting Chapter 2, Section 1 today. The title here is Solve Linear and Inequality Equations. All right, so everybody make sure that you are on page 90 in your textbooks. Once again, you have to follow along with me. Textbooks open, paper out, pen ready, pencil, whatever you guys got. Make sure that you're copying down everything that we present here. Okay, so first thing up, we got 6 key terms. Find those, look those up, get the definitions. They are all highlighted in yellow. And there will also be 2 charts. Okay, I gave you the page numbers that those charts are on, page 90, page 93. So get that info. And then we can proceed here. All right, so now remember basic things like the distributive property. Remember basic things like combining like terms. You're going to be doing both of those throughout this section, both with equation equal signs or inequality signs. So remember those. You're going to see those in the example problems. Okay, another thing that we have here, there is a possibility that you could actually completely cross a variable out. Okay, so in other words, if the variable just drops out, like you no longer have x anywhere in the equation, and that would be due to simplifying. That can happen. You have done nothing wrong, but that's going to give you what is either a no solution for your answer or an all numbers for your answer. And I really need you guys to now go to page 92 and read example 4. Okay, because that's going to show you both of those different types. We also will be doing some in our examples, but take a look at what the book has for you there, because the more you get exposed to, the better you're going to get at math. Okay, so again, as much as you guys may be, not a fan of math, maybe you struggle with math or whatever it may be, the more you do, the better you're going to get at it. Okay, so that just is what it is. All right, you guys got to keep the motivation up, keep working hard. All right, let's jump into some example problems. Here we go. So first one here. All right. First thing we're going to be doing is distribute the 3 over into both parts of this binomial here. So that's going to give us 6 minus 9x equals 42. Okay, next step here, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. That negative sign stays with the 9x. Okay, so we're now going to have that negative 9x by itself equals, and let's get ourselves situated here. So this is going to work out well. We're just going to have a negative sign. Okay, so that negative sign coming from dividing by this negative 9. Okay, so you got to cross out that divided by the negative 9. X now completely by itself, negative 4. Okay, so we take a look at that. You see, again, basics, distributive property was used. We did have some combining of like terms, if you will, with the constants. Constants are numbers that lack a variable with it. If you had a variable with it, then you'd be looking at what's called a coefficient. Okay, and we will be combining like terms with those as well. All right, so let's move down the page here. Second example problem. All right, again, let's start with the distributive property, giving us 3x plus 21 minus 5x equals x plus 12. Now we're going to have a lot of like terms. So let's do this. We got these guys. They're going to be going together here. 3x, and that's going to be a minus 5x, giving you a negative 2x. Okay, sorry, we got an extra line in there. Negative 2x, and then plus 21 equals x plus 12. Okay, now what I would do is I'm going to take this x, I'm going to bring it over here, but I'm going to take the 21 and I'm going to bring it over here. And let's go ahead and rewrite what that would look like once we do that, because we want to have all the like terms on the same side. So all the x's on one side, all the constants on the opposite side. Okay, so when you move that x that's on the right and you move it to the left, that's going to make it a negative. every time you cross over an equal sign, don't forget to change the sign that was on the original number. So that's now going to give you a negative 3x. And when we move the 21 over there, that's going to create a negative 21 plus 12, which is going to be a negative 9. And then the final step here, got to divide both sides by that negative 3. Get those to cross out. X equals a positive 3. Okay, so that all works. Good, good. Okay, second example, let's move down to example 3, getting a little bit longer. So track with, make sure that you're following all these steps. And here we go. Distribute the 5 into the parentheses. You'll notice that's a pretty common step here. And it's just a little easier to make that your first step. Just start to simplify, kind of get rid of those parentheses early on. All right, so 5x minus 30 equals, and I'm going to go ahead and start combining some like terms on the other side just to simplify it down a little bit faster. So you got a 3x and a 2x. They're both in the same family here. So those are going to be 5x minus 18. Now, a key thing that you should clue into right here is you are looking at identical, not just like terms, but identical terms that are on opposite sides of the equation. And that is going to be something that when you clue in and you start to see that, you are now looking at having a category of either all numbers for your answer or a no solution for your answer. Okay, and here's why. Because if you were to take this 5x and move it over, you're going to create 5x minus 5x minus 30 equals negative 18. And 5x minus 5x, that completely drops out, meaning they cancel each other out. There goes your x's, all right? So no more x, and what you're left with is just negative 30 equals negative 18. That's not a true statement. Negative 30 does not equal negative 18. They are not the same number. Therefore, we are looking at a no solution for our answer here, okay? So that's what that would look like. Let's take a look now at number 4. All right. Okay, looks like we're having some double distributive property, both sides right here. Okay, so we have a 3 times 2, 6 minus 9x equals, this side right here, you have a negative 7x. That's fine. But now distribute that negative 2 into the parentheses. Okay, make sure you do have that negative sign going with the 2 because it's kind of like it's locked in, like it's bonded there. So then we're going to have a negative 2x plus 6. Okay, negative 2, negative 3, creating a positive 6. They're the negative times the negative equals a positive, all that normal stuff. All right, now you should clue in. We got some like terms that we can start to combine on the right-hand side. That's a negative 7x minus 2x, giving us a negative 9x plus 6. And this side right here, 6 minus 9x. If you look close, not only are you going to see that you have a negative 9x, and that also is a negative 9x. So that should clue you into something's about ready to happen as far as no solution or infinite all number solutions. And then if we look, I see a positive 6 right here. I also see a positive 6 right here. So they are identical across the board. Left side identical to right side. So in that situation, this is a all numbers is your answer. So any number that you were to plug in for x, they will always equal each other on both sides. Okay, so there we go. And let's do one last example problem here. This involves the inequalities. We haven't had any of these show up quite yet. This is important. All right, I want to go ahead and highlight that guy right there. Okay, remember that. You have to flip the inequality if you were to divide or multiply by a negative coefficient, okay? So you divide or multiply by a negative, that inequality sign is going to flip. So whatever side it was looking at, it's now looking at the other side, okay? So let's jump into it here, see what we get. All right, I'm looking at this 4x here. Why don't we go ahead and move that? Take that 8. Why don't we go ahead and move that? That way, again, you get the variables on one side, you get the constants on the other. Okay, so now we have x minus 4x. We haven't messed with the inequality sign yet, so just give that time. Move the 8, so now that's a negative 8 plus 17. Okay, x minus 4x giving us a negative 3x greater than equal to, and 17 minus 8 here, giving us a positive 9. Okay, now here comes the multiply or divide by a negative note. We are dividing by a negative 3 on both sides, and it's important to see that we're dividing by a negative 3. That is a coefficient. If you divide or multiply by a negative coefficient, flip that inequality. So now this inequality sign is going to go just like that. We flipped it. X is now by itself, and we have a negative 3 right there. Okay, let's take a quick look here. How we doing? That's it. That covers all the example problems. That covers all of our notes. All right, rewatch it, rewind, do what you got to do. Keep that motivation high. All right, I'm praying for you guys every day. Keep working hard. You guys got this. All right, see you in the next one.